Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 28 of the Super Max 64 UJPW Spinoff Series here on the channel as far as in TEW 2020, as it is the 2002 Best of the Super Juniors, and for the Best Super Juniors, we have 20 of the very best junior heavyweights in the world competing in a round-robin tournament throughout the month of basically, it's the beginning of the end of March, but pretty much all through April. And as far as for this Best Super Juniors, we have, as far as a very, very stacked two-block tournament as far as blocks A and B. Block A, we have Brad Armstrong, Chris Jericho, Darkside Hayabusa, the Junior Heavyweight Champion Eddie Guerrero, Jushin Thunder Liger, Naoki Sano, Shinichi Funaki, Super Astro, Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, and Wild Pegasus. So, obviously, all eyes are going to be on the junior champ and Eddie, as far as as far as somebody like Jushin Thunder Liger, as far as Wild Pegasus is stablemate, potentially could beat his as far as if Wild Pegasus obviously gets a win, he'll get a junior heavyweight title matchup out of that. I'm excited to see how Darkside Hayabusa does as far as this new persona, this new attitude of Hayabusa since his return. He's, of course, as far as the March Massacre matchup with Jinsei Shinzaki's not in the tournament because of what happened to him during that matchup. As far as I wanted to really put over that he went through hell and he was beaten up pretty bad, so bad that he can't even participate in the tournament. So I really wanted to make sure that we put that over strong as far as what Hayabusa did to him. So that's going to be awesome to see. Naoki Sano, obviously going to be very, very tough. Same thing for Shinichi Funaki, Super Astro as well. And we'll see how, Chris Jericho, as far as obviously someone to watch out for. Brad Armstrong. It's going to be a tough block to really decide who's going to win that one as far as, predictions-wise. There's a lot of great talent involved. That's for Block B. Dean Malenko, Koji Kanemoto, Lord Akira Kotokumi, Matsufuchi, Minoru Tanaka, Psychosis, Shinjiro Otani, The Great Sasuke, Ultimo Dragon, and Vampiro. So, we have Los Bravano teammates of Vampiro and Psychosis in the same block. That will be the first time they ever had a singles match. Also, the first time that Great Sasuke and Psychosis will have a singles matchup as well, which that's a very fun match. That would have been a match I would have loved to have seen in ECW around the time where Psychosis was there. Because, Sasuke, that was, of course, barely legal when he would, in the Michinoku Pro Trios match. So they just kind of missed each other. But that would have been cool. That would have been very, very cool to see those two have a match in ECW. Other than anywhere in the world, but ECW, I think, would have been a great place for them. As far as, this is another tough one. As far as, of course, the Lords of the Deep leader and Lord Akira Kotokumi. We have also TTS members in the same block as far as Minoru Tanaka and Shinjiro Otani. Ultimo Dragon is going to be, obviously a tough guy to take out. Him and Dean Malenko in the same block, so that's going to be a lot of fun to see. As far as two very, very talented individuals there. And, all the way around, this is a tough block. Both blocks are extremely tough. This is kind of what we wanted to see out of this Best Super Juniors as far as doing two blocks of 10. Seeing who really is the best of the best. Because you're going to fucking have to earn it if you're going to win this tournament. You're going to have to beat some of the best junior heavyweights in the world throughout the entire month. So that's going to be very, very tough for them. For the first time, though, in this save, I believe for the first time we've done this Best Super Juniors overall, but as far as at least in the save here in Super Max 64, we'll actually have an opening contest that's not involved in the tournament, so we'll at least get some of the guys that haven't been booked on this tournament. Now, there's some big names that are not included in this tournament, as far as Rey Mysterio Jr. not involved. That was a tough mission. Really, that one was more so wanting to protect him more than anything, as far as him losing the junior heavyweight title to Eddie Guerrero before this. Really wanted to kind of showcase what he could do as far as building his way back up in not being involved in the tournament, which is probably a mistake, because I think he's definitely good enough to be in this tournament, for sure. Obviously, him being former junior champion. Van Dam and Lance Storm, two guys I would have loved to seen in this tournament as well. As far as, Chris Candido, probably was a bit of an omission. There's a lot of talented guys that we have on our roster that definitely missed out on it, just from a sheer numbers perspective, but Blue Demon Jr., Dr. Wagner Jr., As far as those are other names I'm thinking of as far as that were omitted from this. Tuco Scorpio, another guy that was omitted from this, that probably could have made it. He was, obviously very, very talented. It's tough, man. 20 spots, as far as from a roster this deep, it's tough to really make sure everybody gets a chance of being represented as well. It's tough. It's tough out here. But I think we have a really good lineup, and I think it'll definitely be worth it. So, we're already here on the first day. We'll go ahead and run it, as we're in the Tokyo Dome for this one. It's a sellout crowd. As the Fantastics taking on Okuda, Daka, and Minoru Fujita, as Okuda, Daka with a roundhouse kick over Jackie Fulton. So, great performance from Daka and Bobby Fulton. Which, again, Bobby Fulton is still incredible in this, which is just pretty awesome thing in 2002. He's still high 70 performer. It's just wild. But yeah, what a win for Okuda, Daka and Minoru Fujita. It's an 82 for the first Best Super Junior matchup of 2002. And it's a pretty good match, actually. Wild Pegasus and Zio Kikuchi as far as an 88 and an 82. Wild Bomb from Wild Pegasus slams him through the mat and gets 2 points out of it. So nice start for Wild Pegasus. An 84 for Nuki Sano and Shinichi Funaki. As, Funaki still has that injury. That was one where I felt like we probably could have had be admitted and it had been alright. As far as just from a name perspective, I felt like he deserved to be a part of this Best Super Juniors. And, he might not have the greatest in-ring performances throughout this tournament. I think he still deserves it just from what he's worked through and then what he's built up throughout the years with us. Just feel like that was kind of a given for him to be involved in this. But a good matchup, though, even with his injury. 88 for Brad Armstrong and Chris Jericho. Jericho gets the win to Lion Tamer over Brad Armstrong, which Brad was almost in the 90s, which is a great performance from him. Reason why it was such a good matchup for Brad Armstrong is a 93 for Jushin Thunder Liger and Darkseid Hayabusa, as Hayabusa gets the win to Falcon Arrow in 24 minutes. Big win from Hayabusa, big 2 points to beat somebody like Liger on this first night. And, evil versions of each other, too, which is kind of fun. From that perspective. Then our main event, the Junior Heavyweight Champion losing to Super Astro here. Tough break that it was only an 84, but a big win for Super Astro, though, as he gets to win the Astro Scissors in 28:05. So, a good show. Not a great show because of just from an overall perspective. It would have been a lot better, obviously. It had Hayabusa and Liger main event it, but I'm still, pleased with the show overall. All the Best Super Junior matches were 84 and above, or 82 and above, actually, but that's really good. I mean, as far, especially for the Steelers show match at the beginning 82, we'll gladly take that. Well, I can't put over Liger, because we are Liger, so can't do that. We'll put over Brad. We'll put over Nuki Sano. I feel like that's fair. And, we'll, give Super Astro a hug. It's a big moment. Beat the Junior Heavyweight Champion, which, championship curse there as far as night one, seeing Eddie lose. Especially if they're just winning the belt as well. Maybe not the greatest of ideas, but it's a big moment, though, as far as to see Super Astro may potentially be the Junior Heavyweight Champion if he can beat Eddie Guerrero. As on to night two, we go. Alright, we're here for the Osaka Dome as far as for day two, as the Can-Am Junior Express, the Super Junior Express here, the Can-Am Express, Rob Van Dam and Lance Storm taking on Too Cool of Brian Too Much Lawler and Scotty Too Hotty. Boy, Brian Too Much Lawler, not great as far as, he's been having his stints in rehab, so he's a bit rusty. Scotty Too Hotty, not great either as far as from an in-ring performance perspective as well, but at least Van Dam and Storm did well as far as 64 overall for the match. I'm not the best of openers for a show of kind of this magnitude, but we needed these guys on the card, and we'll see how they do as far as going forward. We need to change Brian Lawler's picture, but that's all right because that's more like mid 90s era Brian Lawler. We need to update that a little bit. So 77 for Koji Kanemoto, Masato Fuchi. As this is a regular old 10-minute matchup because they had, as far as they don't have chemistry or anything. So I figured it was going to be a pretty bad matchup. And it's decent, as far as it's just going to get outperformed by everybody else. Koji Kanemoto gets the window with the Koji Clutch in 9:34. in the Technical Masterclass matchup, which is a absolute banger, as Vampiro and Dean Malenko go 26 minutes. Dean gets the win with a technical relief in 26:10. Very much the two men that are just antithesis of opposites of each other. This is a pretty hilarious matchup when you think about it. But, yeah, Dean gets the win, though, and 2 points for him as well. A major 2 points, beating somebody like Vampiro, a former junior heavyweight champion. So Lord Akira Kurokumi comes up short against Shinichiro Otani, even though Otani gets outperformed here. But he gets the win with the Cobra Clutch in 12:08, so this is the Steal the Show matchup. Which actually wasn't that far off from the bout that we just saw with Awkward Chemistry, with Masufuchi and Koji Kanemoto, so not bad from them. 79 here as well, as this, I'm surprised this got a 79. This should have been a lot better. Psicosis and Minoru Tanaka have a pretty good match, though. At least they should have. As a 23-minute matchup, though, Minoru Tanaka gets the win, the Miller Special number 2. Got the crowd hotter, though, for our main event, and it's only an 89. As, again, another match that lacks psychology, as Ultimo Dragon and the Great Sasuke, as Dragon Bomb from Ultimo Dragon in 28-26. Hell of a match. Just wanted a little bit more from it. But a great match nonetheless, and a big moment for Ultimo Dragon to beat Great Sasuke there in the main event. For night 2, Block B, though, they had a good little show. We just had the wrong thing go on last. That Technical Masterclass matchup with Malenko and Vampiro, nothing was beating that. That was quite the matchup, as definitely want to put those guys over. And, this guy put over Sasuke. He did great in his match. Here's a hug, Sasuke. Thanks for putting him over. First 2 days in the books, rather. And, of course, we had a long ways to go. As overall, 18 shows for the block section of the tournament. But as far as, we'll take a look at the standings for the first time after night 8. I feel like it's a good little baseline for that. So on to day 3. We go. Alrighty, night 3 takes us to the Nagoya Rainbow Hall for this, as far as night 3 show of the Best Super Juniors. And, this trios match, this is as Michinoku Pro as Michinoku Pro can get for this trios match. It's funny, as far as Tajiri, I always feel like he would have fit right into Michinoku Pro, but, man, as far as, with me, he would have fit just right in with Michinoku Pro, especially around that time period of kind of 96, 97. But, as far as, was more of a, obviously Big Japan young boy, and then obviously went to ECW, but for his little, I guess that would technically be an excursion. Didn't feel like it, though, because he was, once 2000 rolls around, he's like the best motherfucker there is on the goddamn, as far as one of the best, not only on the roster, in the world at that time, but, man, Tajiri, Terry Boy, and Taka Michinoku here, they get outperformed. It's close, though. It's only a couple point difference, but Jado and Geto did really, really well. Taka, best guy in the match. Obviously, really no surprise, but Geto gets the complete shot over Terry Boy in 20 minutes. So 78 for Super Astro and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi. As this is the Steal the Show matchup, because we had the opening contest be the Technical Masterclass matchup. So both guys at the 82 couldn't win either way, but give it to Super Astro, who's on a nice little win streak after beating the junior champ the first night, gets a win over Tsuyoshi Kikuchi here, so he's already looking really good to potentially win this block just off these first 2 nights. As Jushin Liger gets the win at the Shooting Star Press in 24-42, his first 2 points of the tournament. So 96 for Wild Pegasus and Chris Jericho. What a match here. Really no surprise, but again, Jericho with a huge victory as he gets another upset win in the tournament. He beats Wild Pegasus here with a Lion Tamer in 21-37. It's a big win, though. And 87 for Darkside Hayabusa and Brad Armstrong. This is Brad's first win in the tournament as well, so already we're getting a lot of back and forth here as far as Brad gets the win with the Side Russian Leg Sweep in 21-36. He outperformed him, so it's a good win for sure. And then 88 for our main event as the Junior Heavyweight Champion at least bounces back this time around. Oh, they don't click. That son of a bitch. Damn. I thought, did we not know that going into this? I could have swore they've had a match before. Damn. Well, shit. But, I didn't bring it up, so it must not have. But, yeah, Eddie Guerrero, Nuki Sano, for a match that didn't have chemistry or anything, I'll gladly take an 88. That could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse indeed. But what a match, though, between, obviously, Chris Jericho and Wild Pegasus. That was quite fantastic. So we'll definitely put those guys over, and definitely want to. I mean, again, we would put over Liger, but we can't. So we'll go with Brad Armstrong here. Oh, Brad's getting a lot of love for this tournament so far. He's gotten praise both nights 1 and 3. And it's on to night 4. Away you go. Alrighty, night 4 starts off with an opening contest between Skyler and Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Magnum Tokyo and Ricky Fuji, which the 3-count team actually were the better team here. Rey Mysterio Jr. was the best guy in the match, but yeah, Skyler, a little rusty still as far as, of course, he had his stint in rehab. But, he's back with us, and looks like to be back at 100% with us, which is great. Because I love Skyler, but we just need to get him back on the right track here. But him and Rey Jr. get the win, though, as the Mysterio Rana from Rey Mysterio Jr. over Magnum Tokyo, which Magnum Tokyo with a 52 is also not bad as well. It's our first matchup of the night for the block section of the tournament as far as for this night. Minoru Tanaka beating Masato Fuji with the Minoru special, as that's 2 straight victories for Minoru Tanaka, and he outperformed Masato Fuji, who was really off his game, but he only had a 74, so that's not too bad, actually, for somebody that was really off his game. Is Lord Akira Kotakumi getting the Octopus Stretch victory over Koji Kanemoto, so what a win there for Akira Kotakumi, and that is a massive 2 points for him over Koji Kanemoto. Again, lack of psychology here, as between Otani and Sasuke. So Sasuke actually was 2-1 against Otani going into this matchup, so now he will be 3-1. So usually I think a lot of people would have suspected a 50-50 little matchup here, but not as far as Sasuke getting the win. And a big 2 points for him as well, even though he was really off his, or he just seemed off his game, so he wasn't even really off his game. Otani does outperform him though. And Dean Malenko in Psychosis. So Psychosis last year beat him in the Best Super Junior, so a little win back for Dean Malenko here. Gets the win to Texas Cloverleaf in 2604 with a 91 overall performance. Great performance from Dean Malenko, though. It's crazy. Again, 41 years old, Dean Malenko here in 2002, and he is still performing at a very, very high level in our main event, which is an absolute banger here. Is Ultimate Dragon and Vampiro, with Ultimate Dragon getting the win the Dragon Sleepers. That's 2 straight victories for Ultimate Dragon as well, and beating 2 very, very tough opponents as well. So that's a big, it's a big 4 points for him already. And, as far as Block B, he's looking really, really good. Block B has had some great matches, has had some, great moments they've had. It seems like better shows. It's been looking really good. But definitely want to put over both Dragon and Vampiro and Dean Malenko, which Dean and Vampiro getting a lot of praise early on in this tournament. So 4 nights in, still got a ways to go. It's on to night 5. Away you go. Alrighty, so here at night 5, we are at the Hiroshima Gymnasium, 10,000 people, sellout crowd, as we have our opening contest, Blue Demon Jr. and Dr. Wagner Jr. taking on Shudo's team of Tiger Mask 4 and Kazuya Masaki, as Dr. Wagner Jr. getting the submission victory over Tiger Mask 4, which we probably should have had Kazuya Masaki lose, but that's alright, as, chicken wing arm lock there for Wagner Jr., who did really, really good. Again, he was somebody, as far from a performance rating perspective, definitely like a bit of a miss to not have him be involved in this tournament, but, again, 20 spots is hard. It's really hard to pick the best of the best out of that and not have any omissions. It's real tough. But it was a good match, though. Good opening contest. It's a 93, my God, for Nuki Sano and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi here, as the opening matchup of at least the block sections of the tournament, but as far as of this night. But Nuki Sano getting the win with the Scoop Brainbuster in 2040. Hell of a match, though. Got the crowd hotter, too. As far as the next matchup, as it is Shunichi Funaki and Darkside Hayabusa. Even with the great chemistry, it kind of falls short a little bit. The reason why we had to steal the show, which again is Funaki's injury, but Hayabusa coming up short with the Sean captured for Funaki here. So what an upset because of the injury. But again, if it wasn't for the injury, this would have been a lot closer and would have been a much better matchup. But what a win though for Funaki to keep it going, even with the injury. As Super Astro beats Chris Jericho, so 3 straight wins, 6 points for him. Super Astro with the Astro Scissors in 22-21 and gets the victory over Chris Jericho, which was a good segment, too. The 88 there. That was good stuff. As our next matchup, Brad Armstrong and Wild Pegasus. As Brad Armstrong gets the win with a side Russian leg sweep over Wild Pegasus. This was a tough one. Both guys could have got a win here. Brad Armstrong's gimmick's getting stale. The problem is Brad Armstrong's gimmick is he's pretty much just Brad. There's just not a whole lot of gimmick stuff to do with that. Just let him be himself. So basically, we probably should just drop that. Whatever gimmick he has, we should just drop it because he's just himself. But yeah, 95 there for that matchup. But the 92 for our main event is Eddie Guerrero gets the win over Jushin Liger with the Frog Splash in 25-21. A great win for the Junior Heavyweight Champion here. So yeah, he had a shortcoming of the first matchup, but ever since then, it's been straight ahead for him. He's been picking up victories, beating a lot of tough opponents throughout the way, and yeah, it's a good match, good main event, good little main and co-main too. Actually, a really good show overall, and I think that's the best show so far of this tournament. This has been really, really good as far as a 92, 93, and a 95 on this show. Plus the 88 too from Astro and Jericho. Yeah, good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So, oh yeah, I mean Eddie for sure, Nuki Sano for sure, and we've put over Brad Armstrong a lot this tour. We'll go with Wild Pegasus this time around. Really good show there, night 5. As on to night 6, we go. Alrighty, so night 6, we start off as far as, it was supposed to not be at Nippon Budokan, I guess I didn't save it. Just great, but as far as Lords of the Deep versus Los Pavano here, so unfortunately, Naniwa and Delphin don't click as a team. Just great. Honoru's also rusty as well, so just all around. And Damien's also getting stale, so everybody in this match fucking sucked. No, but Damien did great for, what as far as 73, that's solid for an opening contest. Naniwa even did well. Even Super Delphin, too, with as far as not having the chemistry or whatnot. But, yeah, just as far as 70, that did a lot better than I anticipated with how much, all the red that we have seen from this match. So 84 from Shinjiro Otani and Vampiros. This is Vampiros' first win of the tournament so far, as nail in the coffin over Shinjiro Otani in 1942. Great win. Great performance as well. It's an 81 for Fuchi and Psychosis. We knew this one was going to be as far as they don't have any chemistry here, which is why it's a Steel Show matchup. As it could have went either way, though. 74 for each men, as Psychosis with the guillotine leg drop in 10:03 destroys the old man with that one. As, 81, though. And very much blessed with that rating. Minoru Tanaka beating Lord Akira Kurokumi at the leg hook. Death Valley Drivers, 77 for both guys. Again, could have went either way. As what a win, though, from Minoru Tanaka there. 79 from the great Sasuke and Koji Kanemoto. My God, we just can't buy a good rating this show. As Sasuke with a Michinoku driver, 23-25 over Koji Kanemoto. Sasuke with an 89, 81 for Kanemoto. It's not even in the 80s, so tough break. Well, as I say that, we get a 99 for our main event. As Ultimo Dragon and Dean Malenko put on a banger right before the 30-minute mark. Ultimo Dragon standing on side DDT. And what a victory, and what a win for Ultimo Dragon as the side DDT gets the win. Malenko with a 92, 91, or 90 rather, for Ultimo Dragon, and just all around, all that shit just ended up with a 93, or a 99, my God. As far as the 93 for the overall rating, but a 99 for the main event. We'll gladly take that. Again, this was not supposed to be in Nippon Budokan, but we'll take it. As far as it sucks it's not a sellout, because that was a hell of a main event, and that would have been great to see a full capacity crowd for that one, but obviously want to put those guys over, and then I guess Sasuke, probably Vampiro probably would be the one that made the most sense. So yeah, after night 7, we'll take a look at the standings after 4 nights of action. So far, though, it's been pretty back and forth as we got the Champion Carnival going on the UJPW side of things, as on to night 7 we go. Alrighty, night 7, so here we go, we're at the Sapporo Ice Arena for this show, as night 7, we have a pretty good opener, actually. It's Dragon Kid and Golden King taking on Super Crazy and Sean Waltman of Lynn Sanity. It's a 75 here, as Golden King and Dragon Kid were the better team. They get the win as well, as Golden King with the Golden Kick over Super Crazy. But, Dragon Kid outperformed both Crazy and Waltman, and just good stuff. Good little opener there. It's an 81. For the Technical Masterclass matchup, as Liger beats Kikuchi in 20 minutes with a Shooting Star Press, so 2 points for Liger. It's a 90 here for a Dark Side Hayabusa and Eddie Guerrero, so a Steal the Show matchup here. Really with this, just a out-of-nowhere super Falcon Arrow. Eddie's got him up on the buckle, looking to try and maybe do a Hurricane Rana, try something, off the top rope. And Hayabusa counters into a Falcon Arrow off the top, which is crazy. And, as far as a devastating maneuver there, obviously a super Falcon Arrow, and picks up the victory with that. So Eddie losing there in 10 minutes, which seems like a crazy, short amount of time for that matchup. But really with that, and we really wanted to put over just a crazy finish with that. And, I'm cool with that. As far as, nobody got hurt or anything, so I'm glad with that. But yeah, just overall, that was a hell of a match. A 90 here as well for Brad Armstrong and Shunichi Funaki, as Shunichi Funaki losing to the side wrestling leg sweep in 22-11. Yeah, that broken forearm is tough to deal with for Funaki. But listen, for a broken forearm, him still doing like a 70 is pretty crazy, to be honest. But yeah, Brad Armstrong doing well there. It's an 89 for Super Astro and Wild Pegasus, as we see for the first time in this tournament. Super Astro losing to somebody, as far as he loses to Wild Pegasus here. And that's a major 2 points for Wild Pegasus, because that really changes the whole trajectory of the block, obviously, with him beating Astro, who was looking to make it, as far as 8 points and 4 straight victories, but that gets stopped there. And our main event is a 94, hell of a show this was here. Nuki Sano with the scoop brainbuster over Chris Jericho in 24 minutes. A hell of a matchup, and I can't believe it was only a 92, but I guess, there was nothing better than a 94, so I guess it's not too crazy. It just seemed like the way that show was going, it was really rocking and rolling, but man, what a show. Very, very pleased with a lot of people involved in this one. Eddie for sure, Brad Armstrong, and then, Nuki Sano here. So that was just a great night all the way around for those guys. And, Wild Pegasus, Super Astro, those guys had a great match as well. So now on to night 8 we go for Block B. After the show, we'll take a look at the standings to see where everybody's at. As a kind of the first halfway point. We're not officially at the halfway point at that time, but we're a little bit there. Obviously, it being 9 shows for each block, it's kind of hard to really dictate what is the true halfway point. Usually, a lot of times, it might be after 5, but 4 is a good little number for it. So on to night 8 we go. Alrighty, as far as night 8, we have another person that missed out on this, and probably shouldn't have missed out on it, to be honest, is El Samurai. In 2 Gold Scorpio, they get the win over Kilman and Jerry Lynn. Yeah, El Samurai with an 83. Incredible rating there for somebody that's not involved in this tournament. That's... Yeah, really, with him, it was more of... Didn't want to overload it with legend guys. Because obviously Liger and Sasuke, won on each block. Just felt like that was kind of the way to go. But El Samurai definitely deserved to be in this tournament for sure. That's a tough admission, but Scorpio gets the win with Scorpio Splash over Jerry Lynn. Probably should have him lose over Kilman, that's alright. So our Technical Masterclass matchup was Vampiro beating Koji Kanemoto with the nail in the coffin in 20 minutes. Again, just Vampiro keeps on having great performances throughout this tournament. Just fantastic stuff, and that is a victory for him as a 90 for Dean Malenko and Shinjiro Otani. This is a Technical Masterclass, or not to follow up the Technical Masterclass matchup, rather. It's a Steal the Show matchup as Malenko gets the win with the Cloverleaf in 12 minutes. It's got the crowd buzzing, too. Some good stuff there. Malenko still having good ratings throughout this tournament as Lord Akira Kotakumi beating Masu Fuchi with the Decapitator in 20 minutes. As that's an 83 there for that segment rating. And a good match. Good match all the way around. I'm surprised it only got an 83, but I guess, as far as maybe a dip down before we get back up. An 88 is, again, a Sasuke match. That lacks psychology. Sasuke with a Thunder Fire Powerbomb. A great rating for him, but just tough break on it being an 88. Honestly, though, even with the lack of psychology, this was probably as good as it was going to get. A 91 from him, an 83 from Minoru Tanaka. I'll take an 88. That's a good rating for this match. But, yeah, that's a good performance from him. And a fun match, though. Obviously, Minoru Tanaka and Sasuke is a fun dynamic. And then Ultimo Dragon and Psychosis here. Another match that lacks psychology. This one, I'm a little upset to get a 92. But, as far as, especially with the great chemistry between Dragon and Psychosis, which, that's a very fun match. As far as Psychosis' incredible base. Ultimo Dragon, not really known so much for, the crazy high-flying stuff that, a lot of Lucha guys have. But definitely has a Lucha background for sure. He obviously has, coined the Lucha-res style, so he could kind of work with almost everybody on this roster in some shape or form or another, whether it's a Lucha-style matchup or a Japanese Pro Wrestling matchup or something with a little bit of both. And it's a fun match, though, with Ultimo Dragon and Psychosis. And I'm saying, as far as it's, I'm glad it was the main event. It was the best thing on the card, so we got lucky there. But on 91, I was hoping it was going to be a little bit better, but I can't really complain too much. We're having good matches and good performances. We're just not hitting that, all-time rating. We've had 199, which is fantastic, but even then, the show rating itself wasn't the greatest, but I'm pleased with it. I'm very, very pleased with it. So, I mean, it's hard to not put over Ultimate Dragon and Psychosis, that's for sure. And honestly, Sasuke, he was great. He was great in his matchup, so we'll put him over. And yeah, I mean, as far as obviously, we're only a couple of days in to the tournament, so not really too foretelling on what's going on. But it's nice to kind of see what the pattern's looking like and what's going on, as because obviously a lot can still happen. There was Super Astro was looking like he was going to be undefeated at one point, but he of course gets stopped on Wild Pegasus, and that really dictated a lot of things. Eddie beating Nuki Sano stopped Nuki Sano from going undefeated, and Chris Jericho stopping Brad Armstrong. So those three men are leading the block, and a pretty unique three. As far as obviously Super Astro, kind of the second fiddle to Ultimo Dragon as far as the Golden Cosmic Kings. Brad Armstrong has, of course, been phenomenal for us throughout the years. Hasn't had that big time moment win. This could be it, though, even at 40 years old. And for Nuki Sano, of course, he's been there, he's done that. He hasn't won a Best Super Junior, though, so that might potentially be something for the first time in his career he gets, but still a long ways to go. Guys are right on their tails. Wild Pegasus, Liger, Eddie, Darkside Hayabusa, and Jericho, all with 4 points. Very much anyone's block to win still. And then for Block B, Ultimo Dragon is the one with 8 points. So he's the man to beat. Sasuke and Dean Malenko are behind him, and Minoru Tanaka. Of course, Dean Malenko's already faced Ultimo Dragon. As far as also for Sasuke, he's also faced Ultimo Dragon. So those two guys are kind of out of contention already just off of the tiebreaker performance. Unless, of course, Ultimo Dragon, something terrible happens to him or he ends up getting up a couple of losses along the way. But, tough break for him as far as for Dean Malenko and Sasuke, because they've had great tournaments so far. It just, one costly loss has really affected them in a big way. And for Minoru Tanaka, his loss is to Sasuke, so a tiebreaker loss, if both those guys end up finishing at the top of the block, he's going to miss out on it because of that tiebreaker. So, very much Ultimo Dragon's block to lose. Still a lot of talent, though, left for Ultimo Dragon to face. He's still got Koji Kanemoto, Akira Kotakumi, Masuichi, of course, Minoru Tanaka, and he's still got Otani as well. A lot could still happen. So a lot could still happen. As on to Night 9 we go. The next time we'll take a look, actually, before we send it off to Night 9, next time we'll probably look at the standings will be after Night 16, so we still got a long ways to go before we take a look at it again, but that will basically be like going into the go-home shows. Oh, New Jack is joined IWA Mid-South. That seems to fit like a fucking glove there. But yeah, as far as on to Night 9 we go. As we are back at Nagoya Rainbow Hall here for Night 9 as the opening contest, we're going to have Eddie Guerrero versus Shinichi Funaki on this show. So it felt like we could have the undercard matchup be a singles matchup between Tamura and Chavo Jr. And of course, Tamura will be getting the win over Chavo Guerrero in 10:30, which we'll see if Shinichi Funaki can repeat that same fate here later tonight and beat the junior heavyweight champion, or will Eddie avenge his nephew's loss here? So 92 for the technical masterclass matchup between Chris Jericho and Jushin Liger. Fun match here. Jericho gets the win in 22:45. It's a good match. As far as Jericho with a massive win over Liger here, and that might be, this might be a career-defining kind of run for him. Finally, Chris Jericho might be at the top of the mountain here in Supermax 64. It's about time. It is about time for him. But the ratings are starting to finally click, and he's looking like he might just be a top contender. We'll see, though. Still a lot of time left. As Tsuyoshi Kikuchi losing to Darkside Hayabusa here. It's a Falcon Arrow regular, just normal Falcon Arrow here for Darkside Hayabusa in 10 minutes. So he's already beaten, Eddie Guerrero. So he's already set his fate. But he's still picking up a lot of wins, a lot of quick victories, too, which is going to help him out a lot once this gets towards the later end of the tournament, later stages, because there's going to be a lot of guys that have worked 30 minutes a night for the past couple of days, and they're going to be really feeling it towards the end. So this is really helping out Hayabusa, especially for somebody who's coming off a broken neck injury and has been gone for a year. So that's going to help him out a lot with these quick victories. So an 83 for Eddie Guerrero and Shinichi Funaki, as Eddie gets the win, though, with the Gore special, especially with that broken forearm, a tough finisher to be applied on somebody, stretching out that forearm and the arm, in general, as far as, having his arms stretched out behind Eddie's back, of course. But yeah, fun match. I mean, anytime a gory special's the finish, I don't love it, but it does have it does make the move as far as a credible finish when obviously that happens. But obviously, you want the lasso from El Paso to pick up the victory. But maybe I always forget if we have that as his finisher set or not. I always forget. But on 98 though for Nuki Sano and Wild Pegasus, what a matchup here! As probably could have been the main event. Probably should have been. It was going to be tough for this next matchup to top it, obviously, as Wild Pegasus gets the one with the Wild Bomb. 26-23. Great match. And a great win for Wild Pegasus as well. 96, though, for Brad Armstrong and Super Astro. And with that win, Brad Armstrong is now atop of Block A as the sole leader. Of course, Nuki Sano and, him beating Super Astro. He's atop of the mountain for Block A. And what a win for Brad Armstrong to beat somebody like Super Astro, as he was, he outperformed him as well. What a win. What a win for Brad Armstrong, and what a show. Incredible stuff. 4 90s on the card, 96 and 98 as well. Definitely want to put over Nuki Sano, Wild Pegasus, and then Brad Armstrong again, which is no surprise. He has been incredible. Can the old man do it? As far as, he's still got a ways to go, but he's looking in really good shape as we go into night 10. And now we're in the double digits. And before you know it, we'll be at the end of the tournament. It feels like we just started, and now we're almost, at the halfway point now, and before you know it, we'll be at the end. Alrighty, so with 7,000 strong here for the Sendai Gymnasium, as far as for night 10, the K-Name Super Junior crew against the Pure Temple of Shigoku, as Brian Pillman beats Minoru Fujita with the Air Pillman, as the K-Name Super Junior Express, or the K-Name Super Junior crew, rather, just overall, they get the win, and Pillman, best guy in the match, too, so that's, pretty awesome to see that, as far as he beats Minoru Fujita here. But Senshi, though, as far as key, 51, that is not bad at all for somebody who has just started out. He's he's got a good baseline. Obviously, we know what he turns into, but he's starting off pretty good. Pretty good. It's an 83 for Dean Malenko, Koji Kanemoto, the technical masterclass matchup for this night, as Dean Malenko gets the win over Koji Kanemoto with the Texas Cloverleaf in 21-32, so that's an 83. And 82 for Fuchi and the Great Sasuke, as Sasuke with a Thunder Fire Powerbomb right at 10 minutes, 10-10 to be exact, as, Sasuke gets the win, and an 85 as well. He's looking really good in this tournament so far, as is Psychosis. He gets the win, the guillotine leg drop over Akira Korakumi, who was off his game, but still a good match. And so far we haven't had that, plus 85 matchup. Maybe we'll see it here. Potentially, Psychosis debuted a new comeback spot. Hell yeah. So yeah, an 89 for our co-main event is Vampiro with the nail in the coffin over Minoru Tanaka in 25-48. He's also had a great tournament as well, and a great performance in our main event, as down goes Dragon. Ultimo Dragon down for the count for the first time in this Best Super Juniors tournament, as Otani with the springboard dropkick win. Springboard dropkick right to the back of the head. Perfect win for Otani. Big upset. Beat somebody like Ultimo Dragon who was running the block, and now it's really opened it up. I mean, Sasuke now is tied with Ultimo Dragon, and this is looking like it's going to be a hell of a finish now, as we are just coming up on now night 11, and as far as this is looking like it's going to be now both blocks potentially will come down to the wire. But yeah, definitely want to put over Ultimo Dragon. Hey, let's give Otani a hug. Why not? It's a big moment, and then we'll put over Vampiro as well. And good stuff all the way around. On to night 11. We go. Alrighty, night 11, as we have 12,000 people here at the Marine Mies. As far as that is, I think 15,000. So, a little under capacity to what obviously we would love to have it sell out of 15,000, but 12,317 is not too bad at all. But Grand Aniwa and Prince Mako taking on 3 count, Shane Helms and Shayna Moore, which they did pretty well for themselves, obviously. 51 and 52, not bad at all. Mako with a 54 as well. Overall, nobody in this match was terrible. As far as for 3 guys that are unimportant in Mako, Shayna Moore, and Shane Helms, all above 50, you really can't beat that. And it was a good match. Good little opener. So 91 for Jushin Liger and Wild Pegasus, though, as Wild Pegasus gets the loss here. As far as Liger with the Brainbuster win in 21-41. Good stuff. It was a point difference. But yeah, obviously these two, way back when, in 1991, we saw Wild Pegasus beat Jushin Thunder Liger for the IWGP Heavyweight title. As, of course, that was pre-save and all that fun jazz. But yeah, I mean, this is, as far as between those two men, of course, my first ever just Japanese pro wrestling match in general. Not only, as far as, all around, as far as junior heavyweight title matchup or anything like that. Just straight up the first ever Japanese pro wrestling matchup I ever saw. As, I mean, as far as between these two men, though, they always had good matches. But as far as, I'm trying to think, they had a couple of best Super Junior matches. That was back when it was the top of the Super Junior. And I think they had, even before, or after the name change, rather, they had one. I think even at one of the G1 Climax shows, they had a junior heavyweight title matchup. That was 93? That was, post, as far as after the mask. Of course, they had the mask versus mask match, which that's when it became Wild Pegasus afterwards. But, yeah, I mean, that was, no, that wasn't, was that 19? That might have been actually 1990, not 1991, the junior heavyweight title matchup. Because, that was 1990, now I'm thinking about it. Because he beat him for the belt in 90, then later on that year, he lost it to him. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta think it out a little bit, and just kind of retrace your little steps. But yeah, that was a fun match though, nonetheless, and hard to believe too. I mean, I think they had a Thunder match was the last match they ever had, which is very, very funny to think about. I forget what I'm assuming it was a non-finish because it was fucking Thunder, but God, yeah, that had to have been the last time they would have had a match. They had at Starrcade, when they had the World Cup, they had a match in 95. Which, what a good idea, though, to have those two wrestle on pay-per-view. The old World Cup, which I think also that show, that also had Kanemoto and Alex Wright. That had the Otani Eddie Guerrero match. Yeah, who would have thought to have some of the best junior heavyweights in the world of the mid-90s battle it out on pay-per-view would have been a good idea. But enough about that, though. As far as on to the rest of this tournament, as far as Shinichi Funaki and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, as Funaki gets the win with the Sean capture in 12-13. Tough break for Tsuyoshi Kikuchi here. No win so far, and he's had some great performances, to be honest. As far as Funaki with his injury, really taking a big toll on him, especially throughout this tournament as each night passes, he's working with that broken forearm. He's one tough son of a bitch, I know that much. But, yeah, tough break. Tough break for Tsuyoshi Kikuchi there. And then Dark Side Hayabusa gets the win the Falcon Arrow over Chris Jericho in 23-37. So he's picking up a lot of victories as of late. He's gotten a lot of big wins. And he's looking really good, too, going into potentially the final stretch here of this tournament as well. The 98 for Nuki Sano and Super Astro, as Nuki Sano with a scoop rainbuster win over Super Astro. I mean, Astro had a great start. And just a couple of tough losses now have really affected him as far as ratings, or not ratings-wise, but as far as standings-wise. Because losing the guys that have done really well in this tournament is not a great way of making it throughout this tournament, because you'll just obviously end up losing out due to a tiebreaker. But 98, though, hell of a match there. And a tough way to follow it up, but I'm very pleased with the rating as far as Eddie Guerrero and Brad Armstrong here. As Brad Armstrong, after being a top of the block, takes a loss here to Eddie Guerrero in 25-14. Great matchup, though, and a fun fucking show, though. That was a lot of fun. 4 out of the 5 block matches were in the 90s. Of course, if it wasn't for a Steal the Show matchup, it would have probably been maybe potentially even higher than a 78, but that's the way she goes. But overall, hell of a show. Hell of a match, too, with our main event, and definitely want to give Brad a hug, as he's been working his ass off, and then obviously Nuki Sano and Super Astro have been great as well. I'm trying to think. Maybe we can pump the brakes on Eddie and give it to Super Astro here, because they both been great. Good stuff there. Yeah, night 11 in the books. It's on to night 12. We go. Alright, we're at the Hiroshima Gymnasium here for night 12, as a little fallout from night 11. We saw Chris Candido versus Darkseid Hayabusa. Felt like this would be a fun singles match to run. As Chris Candido versus Sabu, of course, one half of the Blonde Bombers for Chris Candido and part of Darkseid Defiance there for Sabu. As Sabu, he was really tired towards the end, which is hilarious since it's a 10-minute matchup. But Candido did pretty well here. Got the win the Blonde Bombshell as well, and just a solid little opener. There's another 71. As these two men, they don't click, so tough break there. 67 and 62 for Sasuke and Lord Akira Korakumi. It's not a great, as far as tactical masterclass matchup, but Sasuke gets the win, though, with a Michinoku driver in 22 minutes. And then 84 for Vampiro and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, as Vampiro was a nail in the coffin in 12-10. Kikuchi was really off his game, so it hurt the match a little bit, but for a Steal the Show match to be like an 84, we'll gladly take that. As the next contest is Shinjiro Otani and Psychosis, as Psychosis with a guillotine leg drop over Shinjiro Otani, 83 and 81 for both men. Good little match. As far as it's a nice match to go into the co-main event. As it's an 88 here for Koji Kanemoto and Ultimo Dragon is Dragon back in the win column here with the Dragon Sleeper in 26-28. In our main event, a 90 here for Dean Malenko and Minoru Tanaka, as Minoru Tanaka with the upset win with a Minoru special in 28-19. Big win and a big upset for Minoru Tanaka over Dean Malenko. An 88 for the show. Listen, the main and co-main is what we all, needed as far as what we all came to see. But yeah, we'll put over Dragon and Malenko again. And, Vampiro too. He did great as well. As 12 nights have come and gone. As we are now just as far as 6 nights away from the end. As, of course, the Champion Carnival still going on as well. As on to night 13, we go. Alrighty, night 13 opens up with Too Cool versus Rey Mysterio Jr. and Skayde. As, Skayde makes him being rusty, makes everybody else in this match look not so good. As, Skayde Tuati with a 42, 31 for Brian Lawler. As, we did update the picture at least, so there is that. And, it's a good match for Rey Mysterio Jr. as far as everybody else's matchup. Not so much, but you get the win, though, that Skayde, with the Skayde is special over Skayde Tuati. Again, probably should have been Brian Lawler, but at least Brian Lawler's getting better at his gimmick. So there is at least a positive for the Too Cool team. And Chris Jericho beats Shinichi Funaki with a Lion Tamer. He finally outperformed somebody. It just took somebody to have a broken forearm for him to do it. As that was an 82-84 for Eddie Guerrero and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi. Another gory special victory. He's a funny one. And Eddie Guerrero, he just keeps on winning that gory special. I really gotta make sure that's a secondary finish. As an 86 for Wild Pegasus and Darkseid Hayabusa, as Wild Pegasus with the Wild Bomb win over Darkseid Hayabusa, as he was really off his game though, so that sucks. But it was a good match though, even with that. Oh my, 95 for Super Astro and Jushin Liger, as the Astro Scissors from Super Astro in 26 minutes. It's a good match, good win, as far as Astro getting back in the win column in a major way, beating somebody like Liger. And then our main event, Brad Armstrong beats Nuki Sanos after losing to Eddie Guerrero. He bounces back with a win over Nuki Sano. It's a great win, a great match, and a great main and co-main there, as 295s there. Can't beat that at all, as of course we're coming up on the tail end here. Closer and closer to the end. As we'll put over Super Astro as well. And it is a race to the finish for sure. This is going to be a tight race the whole way through. But Brad Armstrong beating Nuki Sano just helped him out a lot for sure. And now we'll go on to night 14. And of course, again, we'll be taking a look at the standings after night 16. So there's a couple more shows left before we take a look at the standings for the final time. Before we get into the actual finals itself. As, cause that'll definitely be the go home show for each block. And it's gonna be a hell of a finish by the way this is looking up. So we'll see how night 14 plays out. Alrighty, so 14,000 on hand here in Osaka-jo Hall for night 14, as the main event is going to be the Great Sasuke and Psychosis. So, felt like the opener. We could have a fun little opener with it being El Samurai and Damien. So, as far as, somebody from Legend, someone from Los Urbano, as Damien's going to lose here to El Samurai with the Samurai Clutch. We'll see if Sasuke can make it a clean sweep tonight, or, Psychosis avenge his Los Urbano brethren as 90, though, for the opener. That's a hell of a way to kick off the show. got the show off to a strong start, as they had a great match here. I'm surprised it only got an 82, mainly because of lack of psychology, but even that, with two guys that have great chemistry like this should have been a lot better. This should have at least been an 85. As a springboard dropkick, though, for Shinjiro Otani over Koji Kanemoto in 20 minutes. So a big win there for Otani as well, and just a great match all the way around. Dean Malenko gets the win over Matsuo Fuchi with a Texas Cloverleaf in 10-17. Beats Fuchi, and yeah, I mean, it's crazy that both these guys, Fuchi's almost 50, and then Dean Malenko, of course, is 41. So just for how old these guys are, and to be able to still perform at a high level throughout this tournament is a real testament to them. Incredible stuff. As Vampiro with the nailing coffin over Lord Akira Kotakumi in 22:01. Hell of a match there as a 95 as well. Just great stuff all the way around. It's a 94 for Minoru Tanaka and Ultimo Dragon, as far as Minoru Tanaka with a submission victory in 26:06 with the Minoru special. And Ultimo Dragon gets upset here. Only a second loss of the tournament. Of course, they've been both TTS members, which is kind of funny, as far as losing to both Minoru Tanaka and Shinjiro Otani. We'll see how we can bounce back, though, as far as that night 16. And then our main event, I had a feeling this would happen, as far as a lack of psychology, but guillotine leg drop from Psychosis over the Great Sasuke. What a win. Fun main event, because it's never been done before, is the reason why I wanted it to be the main, but obviously much better matches on this card. Literally almost all of the other matches. It even did worse than the opener, so not a great call for it to be the main, but I'm still pleased with it. But I'll put over Psychosis, which I probably shouldn't do. Yeah, I should probably go back to Vampiro. Actually, yeah, we'll change it up a little bit. Let's go Lord Akira Kotakumi. Let's go Otani. Actually, let's go Koji Kanemoto, and then El Samurai as well. Because they did well, him and Damien. I was very, very surprised I got a 90. Yeah, night 14 in the books. As on to night 15, away you go. Alrighty, night 15, we're here at the Naruto Boat Race Place. So the opening contest, the Fantastics against Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Yoshinari Ogawa of the Holy Demon Army. As Ogawa gets the win in 10 minutes over Jackie Fulton, which, it is close. It was a lot closer than I anticipated as far as this matchup here. But as far as that, it's for an opening contest, you can't go wrong with a 70. Can't go wrong with that. 90, though, for the next matchup is Naoki Sano and Jushin Liger. As Naoki Sano beats some of the Brainbuster, of course, these two fierce rivals as far as the early 90s. But Liger and Naoki Sano does still have a match here in 2002, and they're both in the 90s. Pretty great stuff from them. As Tsuyoshi Kikuchi with the upset, he finally gets a win. He gets a win with a sit-out powerbomb over Brad Armstrong. What a win there, and good shit. Good shit there from Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, as it was a 10-point difference, though, so an upset for sure. And then Wild Pegasus with a wild bomb onto Shinichi Funaki in 24 minutes there. Yeah, Funaki probably shouldn't have been in this, but, it's been fine, though. It has been, still a good match. It's a good match, and, as far as at least Wild Pegasus was a good performance. The 97 from Darkside Hayabusa and Super Astro as the Astro Scissors from Super Astro in 26:30. It's a great win there, and, just a great matchup overall. Gonna be tough to follow that. Yep. It was a 92, as Eddie Guerrero again with this gory fucking special in 25-24, getting the win. And as far as Eddie with a 90, 76 for Chris Jericho, that seems to be just his cap for this. It's like a high 70s, which is unfortunate. I definitely wished he'd be a lot higher. But yeah, all those matches of the block, all 85 and above. So that is exactly what we want there. Great stuff overall, as we'll put over Eddie. We'll put over, Super Astro and Darkside Hayabusa for sure. But what a great show. I'm very, very pleased with that. And of course, and that will go into night 16, run that. Take a look at the standings for the final time before we go into the final two block shows. Then we'll be at the finals before we know it. Alrighty, for night 16, we're back at Nagoya's Rainbow Hall. As we have Taka Michinoku and Terry Boy taking on Taru and Sabu. As obviously Taka, best guy in the match, he gets the win over Sabu with the Michinoku driver. It's a nice win for Kai and Tai there, as far as in 10 minutes. 66, not a great opener, but a decent one. As far as the next matchup, Ultimo Dragon and Masato Fuchi Ultimo Dragon with 2 points here with the Dragon Sleeper in 20 minutes, beating Master Chi. Again, as far as Dragon's run has been pretty incredible, albeit a couple of hiccups, of course, over TTS members, but overall, he is looking real good as far as going into the final show. As 82 for Otani Minoru Tanaka as the two TTS members battle it out in a 12-minute war as a blitz, if you will, of an onslaught between these two men, trying to see who's the better of the two. And, they both, with 79s there, could have went either way. Gave it to Minoru Tanaka with a 450 splash at 12:25. It's Dean Malenko and Lord Akira Kotakumi at 92 here. What a win for Lord Akira Kotakumi, though. Not only getting the win, but tapping out the man of 1,000 holds in Dean Malenko with the Octopus Stretch in 2048. So a great win there for Akira Kotakumi. As at 83, bit of a swing and a miss here. Did not expect Koji Kanemoto to do so poorly. He gets the win, though, with the Koji Clutch, though, in 2012 over, or 22-12, rather, over Seacoast, which Seacoast, again, benefited from having a hot new movie. He's looking real good. But just picking up the win there is Koji Kanemoto. Our main event, though, Vampiro in the Great Sasuke, as Sasuke losing here to Vampiro in 25-58. Fun match here, though, Vampiro and Sasuke. I feel like these two are kind of almost cut from the same cloth, but Vampiro a little bigger and not as crazy as Sasuke is, obviously. But, they both, as far as Sasuke, from time to time would do a Michinoku driver, but mainly would use, obviously his Thunderfire Powerbomb. But, as far as maybe busted out here against Vampiro, you never know. But a fun main event. I'm shocked that this didn't do as well as it did. I probably should have switched that with this. But overall, it was a 91 overall show, so I can't be too upset with it. It's Vampiro, Sasuke, and as far as Lord Kirakorakumi, maybe? Yeah, might as well, right? So that's, as far as Night 16 in the books, I think there's a Champion Carnival Day, so what we'll probably have to do, is, just once we load up Night 17, we'll take a look at the standings there instead of waiting to do it until we're at the main office screen. So, on to Night 17 we go. Alrighty, so, for Block A here, as far as, the final show for Block A, it's Eddie Salus, and wouldn't you know it, his Radical Revolution partner in Stablemate is who is left for him to face. Now, if he was smart, he would try and at least be like, hey, brother, let's just, you lay down 1, 2, 3, and we'll be fine, and I'll go on to the finals, I'll owe you a title match type of thing. But I don't think Chris is going to take that. And, as far as for the rest of the block, if Eddie loses, really, the only people that have a chance is Super Astro. Astro needs a loss. If he loses, does Eddie, Astro goes on to the finals. So if not, it's down to 2, as far as Eddie Guerrero and Super Astro. And it's funny enough, as far as that match, that was, I believe, the first match for Eddie Guerrero, too, in this tournament. So that's kind of funny how it comes down to the 2 men that basically started this whole thing off, with Astro beating him. And also, Wild Pegasus beating Super Astro really has given him a huge opportunity to have Eddie get this win. So this is just all the way around very interesting block. Now, Block B, there is a bit of a weird fuck-up, weirdly enough. So the Fuchi-Vampiro matchup, weirdly enough, Vampiro faced Kikuchi on, I want to say it was Night 8, which I don't know why that happened. I can't believe I completely missed the Night 12. I think it must have had a break in between that part, because I did take a break around that time, so that's probably what happened. I took a break and didn't realize it when I came back, as far as like, oh shit, Kikuchi's set to face him. And so we're gonna have to do that on a like a pre-show thing, so that's why that's here, just to get it back on track. But really, with Block B, to go back to that, really, it's a unique race, because you see 3 people have 10, 2 have 12. Of course, Minoru Tanaka and Ultimo Dragon, they are kind of in control of this destiny. But for Minoru Tanaka, he's beaten Ultimo Dragon, so he already has the tiebreaker win right there. He just needs Ultimo Dragon to lose, and he'll be just fine, no matter what happens. But if Sasuke wins, and Ultimo Dragon loses, and he loses, then it's going to be Sasuke going to the finals. Actually, no, it would actually still not be Sasuke, because Ultimo Dragon, it'd end up being a three-way tie. It would have to do a triple threat match, actually, if that was the case. But actually, too, because Vampiro was supposed to already beat Maso Fuchi, it should be 12, 12, 12. So really, it is, as far as, now that I think about it, yeah, there would be a unique perspective. Plus, Psychosis taking on Vampiro, too. So we might see, and of course, those two men, the year before that's winner, and Vampiro, and last year's winner in Psychosis. Both men have a chance to make it to the finals again, and for Vampiro or Psychosis, really for Vampiro, of course, he's going to need a massive win over his stablemate to do so. A lot could still happen, though, because again, he has lost Ultimo Dragon, and also he's lost to Dean Malenko, so it just, so many different variables there for Block B, a lot more than Block A, which we kind of expected going into Block B. It's just a tight race all the way around, besides poor Maso Fuchi. But that is Block A here as far as the final show. Of course, Wild Pegasus and Eddie Guerrero, I mean, it's got to be the main event, right? And as far as, so yeah, we get rid of this. So yeah, there's the nail in the coffin win for Vampiro. It's the opening contest, though. It's Los Pavano versus Blue Demon Jr., Dr. Wagner Jr., and Rey Mysterio Jr., as the Team Mexico team beats Los Pavano. Here is Scorpion Deathlock from Blue Demon Jr. over Honoru, who had a 39 here. Yeah, he's still rusty as hell and not great. Not a great performance from him. 94, though, for Brad Armstrong and Jushin Liger. Hell of a match here as Liger gets the win in 23-38. So he beats Brad. Armstrong there, 79 for Jericho and Kikuchi, as Chris Jericho beats C.S. Kikuchi in 11-33. Tough break for Kikuchi there. As far as an 81 for Super Astro and Shinichi Funaki. Astro, the Astro Scissors, beats Shinichi Funaki, so with that win, he's got a chance. Comes down to that main event, though. And a 96 for Naoki Sano over Darkside Hayabusa as he gets the win with the Scoop Rainbuster in 24-50. And our main event, though, they go 30. We don't get a winner. So because of the draw, he's going to make it with 1 point advantage. That is a tough break for Super Astro, but Eddie Guerrero makes it. Did he lie and cheat and steal his way to victory? No. Those guys went to war for 30 minutes, but neither man could beat one another. They get the victory, as far as Radical Revolution in the end, to go on to the finals. So the Junior Heavyweight Champion will be represented in this finals. So that's exciting. And now we'll see who will be joining him here rather shortly, as we'll put over our main event. And we'll put over Naoki Sano as well. I mean, Naoki Sano Hayabusa had a great match as well. It's a pretty great block there, Block A. There was a lot of fun stuff there. I mean, Liger, Brad Armstrong, Naoki Sano, Darkside Hayabusa, Astro. If Funaki didn't have a broken forearm, he would have been even better. That block would have been even more jam-packed. But, that's the price we gotta pay sometimes for these block tournaments. But now, on to our final Road 2 show. Our final tour show, night 18, our final block show. We'll see who'll be joining Eddie Guerrero in the finals. Alrighty, to see who will be joining Eddie Guerrero in the finals, as we have an opening contest matchup between the Golden King and Dragon Kid, though, against Senshi and Katori Shiga, which actually a pretty good little matchup here, as Golden King and Dragon Kid obviously getting the win, with Dragon Kid with the Dragon Rana win over Katori Shiga. 10-26. Our next contest, Maso Fuchi and Shinjiro Otani, as Fuchi, unfortunately for him, finishes winless, but valiant effort, though, for a man of his age to have the performances that he has had, and plus he outperformed Otani here in this matchup, too. So, I mean, really, overall, you can't really ask for anything better. So, a good performance there. An 87 from Sasuke and Dean Malenko, which Sasuke finishes with 12 points, actually. That's great for him. Poor Dean Malenko, though, falls to the Michinoku driver. Tough break for him. A 90 for Psychosis and Vampiro. The first time they've ever faced off against each other, funny enough. And Vampiro, with 14 points now, beats Psychosis with a nail in the coffin in 12-32 as well. So again, kind of like what TTS did, where these two men are leaving nothing to chance. They are going to beat the piss out of each other if they need to get this final win, especially for Psychosis in Vampiro, as far as, for Vampiro looking to get back into the Best Super Junior Finals and to win it for a second time, Jesus, as that's a hell of a win, though. A hell of a win. We'll see if it will be enough, though, as there's still a lot more matches left. So Kenomoto beats Minoru Tanaka. So down goes Tanaka, and he will not be making it to the finals with that one. Tough break there. Tanaka and Kanemoto. Last year, Kanemoto beat him as well in the Best Super Juniors. That's 2 straight victories for him. Only in 84, though, unfortunately. But I think our main event's going to deliver, and it absolutely does. Pretty good chemistry out of these two men as well, as Ultimo Dragon will win not only the main event, but will win outright. Oh, not win outright, actually, because, obviously it's tied with him and Vampiro, but he will win due to a tiebreaker, and it will be Ultimo Dragon versus Eddie Guerrero in the finals for the Best Super Juniors, as 2 former winners, both in the mid-90s, back before we, as far as before the split. So, as far as this will be the first time in at least the Super Max 64 era of the Best Super Juniors in the finals. And, of course, Eddie, strangely enough, had the triple threat match in the finals. So, that's going to be pretty wild to think, as far as this will be his first time one-on-one. And, obviously, the junior champion looking to get a big win. And, obviously, he'll get to choose his challenger. But if, obviously, Ultimo Dragon wins, he'll not only get the Best Super Juniors, but he'll also get a future title matchup against Eddie Guerrero. So, that is where we're at as far as going into the finals. And, as far as, we're also going to have a junior heavyweight tag team title matchup as the new champions, Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Koji Kanemoto, taking on, as far as we're going to have it be a bit of a surprise. As far as, from that regard, we are going to have a special exhibition matchup as well, between Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio Jr., so that's going to be fun to see, as I believe, we can do that. I believe that'll be easy to do. And we might have to change one of the days, because we might have Kurt wrestle on the Champion Carnival show, so I wanted to make sure that happens. But yeah, that's what we have planned so far. Obviously, we'll be running the finals in Fire Pro, at least for sure. We might not run the co-main event, the tag team title matchup. We'll see, though. It really all depends, because I know this one's going to be a long one anyways. But yeah, on to the finals we go. Alrighty, so we are here for the Best Super Junior Finals, which of course will take place here in Fire Pro for this. As far as, man, these two men, with Eddie Guerrero and Ultimo Dragon, 2 former winners. Ultimo Dragon was the 97 winner, Eddie Guerrero the 98 winner. As far as these two men, that was the last time they've ever been in the finals. And of course, Eddie, last time he won the Best Super Junior Finals. It was in the triple threat match with him, Naoki Sano, and Great Sasuke. And for Ultimo Dragon, he beat Dean Malenko to win the 1997 Best Super Juniors. He was also in the finals of the first one in 1995. Obviously, in real life, it was him and Jushin Liger as far as in the 95. Well, actually, no, that was the semifinals. That wasn't even the finals. But as far as with this matchup here, let's get right into it, because this is going to be a hell of a contest, if I do say so myself. Very, very excited to see how this plays out, though. It's Eddie Guerrero, the champion, coming in first. It's very rare for him, but he did win Block A, so that's why he's coming out first. As I'm sure, as far as for Eddie, he, as far as he only lost twice during the Best Super Juniors. Super Astro, Ultimo Dragon's partner, and Darkside Hayabusa. So maybe that, little mind games there played into effect. Potentially there. And for Ultimo Dragon, as far as for him, he only lost to Shinjiro Otani and Minoru Tanaka. So both men have 2 losses going into this. And those are the only 2 losses throughout the year for Ultimo Dragon. Because, well, actually, no. They had those 2 and then the Rey Mysterio Junior Heavyweight title matchup at the Grand Prix. So that would be as far as Ultimo Dragon. Potentially, of course, if he wins this here, he'll go on to win the big one. That would be as far as, that would be his 4th reign, tying the Great Sasuke for the most ever. A lot on the line for both these men. Now we gotta test his strength. Look at that, he just throwing his body weight on top of him. He's gonna probably do it again. Oh, this time, Ultimo Dragon trying to return the favor. It gets countered into a monkey flip. Tremendous stuff here. Loving the test of strength so far. Eddie seems to be getting the better of them. Just the one-upsmanship early on. Oh, Ultimate Dragon sent him to the floor. Thought maybe we were going to see a tope early. We're going to Jawbreaker. Drags him out of the ropes. Let's see what Dragon's got. Oh, no, just going to get caught. Elbow to the back. Eddie's going to the top rope. Oh, Frog Splash early. A minute 30 in. Imagine this is the finish. Oh my god, I was almost it. 2 count, and Eddie wants to get out of there early and often. Early and often? That makes no sense. He wants to just get out of there early. Both of them trading forearm strikes and chops, dragging into the top rope. Moonsault, nobody home though. Eddie gets out of the way just in time. Oh, a jumping Enziguri there. Oh, test of strength. Beautiful stuff. Oh, Eddie only gets a 2 count out of that body press. Oh, gonna test his strength. And again, Eddie getting the better of him. Oh, to the floor he goes. Oh, well, we're running up the ropes. Got a fireman's carry takeover. Frog Splash. Well, luckily he was in the ropes. I mean, this one is going to be over with early. My god. We're going to have to add like 20 minutes onto these matches. Maybe even 30. The way this is going, this is insane. Oh, is he going to shake it? Don't you do it, Ultimate Dragon. You did not shake that hand. Good call. He thought long and hard about it, though. Thought Eddie was going to maybe go for a low blow instead of, since he refused the handshake. Well, covers him. Only 1 count. One for the dropkick, nobody home. Off the ropes. Base, ball, slide underneath him. Oh, Eddie, is he going to go for another fucking frog splash? He does. Unreal. Somehow kicks out this Ultimo Dragon. I thought he was going to go up to the top rope again. Oh, here we go. Looking for a brainbuster. Oh, Jesus. It's on the ring. Plants him. Doesn't go for the cover. Maybe a mistake there. Let's see what Dragon can do. Oh, just punch for his treble. Soul Butt. Off the ropes. Spinning wheel kick there, the back of the head. Into the buckle, rather. I said off the ropes, into the buckle. But Eddie missed the strike, and now Ultimo Dragon to the top rope. Oh, Ed, this is perfect counter. What a senton off the top. Thought he was maybe going to go for, what was this, going to be the 4th frog splash he's hit? I mean, he's going for it. There it is, right on cue. Feel like he's hit 1 per minute, and that will do it. Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna clock about, let's just go 35 minutes onto that matchup. Eddie wins the Best Super Juniors, and before he can even have the big celebration, Nuki Sano cashes in as far as the 6-leaf clover, he's cashing it in. And that will be right after that match. So boy, oh boy. So with Nuki Sano cashing in right after Eddie just worked as far as a 35-minute matchup, there's going to be, 4 minutes. Nuki Sano attacks him as far as at ringside, with the help of his Shudo brethrens, as far as Kyoshi Nomura, Kazuya Yamasaki, Tiger Mask 4, and the Super Tigers out there, the retired Super Tiger. He's out there, and they're making sure, Wild Pegasus, Dean, and Chavo, they're trying to keep him at bay. But it's not going to be of any use. Nuki Sano gets to work early and often. A couple of scoop brainbusters after attacking Eddie from behind. Cashes it in. gets the win in your new Junior Heavyweight Champion. So you see the card here. We actually have a pre-show match. We're going to have Dragon Kid take on Chavo Jr. It's going to be a very fun card to see how this all plays out. We're in Nippon Budokan here. But crazy that the fucking... I just cannot believe, again, that Eddie beat Ultimate Dragon so quickly in Fire Pro. But that's not going to matter here, because he's losing the Junior Heavyweight title. So, what could have been a historic night, it is for about 5 minutes. And, that's a fun, I think that's a very fun finish. And, let's run it. And as far as the 67th the pre-show matchup, Dragon Kid getting the win over Chavo Jr. with the Dragon Rana in 10 minutes. Dragon Kid, unfortunately, I thought he was going to be considered not unimportant. I thought he was going to be recognizable. He still is unimportant, so hence why this match was the pre-show match. But the actual opener, as far as Lords of the Deep versus Darkside Hayabusa and Shima, Lords of the Deep get the win. Akira Kotakumi and Naniwa beating Darkside Hayabusa and the returning Shima, which Shima actually surprisingly wasn't rusty here since he's been gone since October, but guess it's not too long away, I guess. But, as far as Grand Naniwa gets the win with the driver Day Naniwa over Shima. It's an 85 for the trios match of Legend versus TTS. So, funny enough, obviously, at the Super Shamrock Showdown, we saw an 8-man between Legend and TTS, which Legend won that match. And here, we see Legend win the trios match, too, even though Sasuke strained his rotator cuff, which, very, very tough, but they were the much better team. Liger and Sasuke in the 90s. Just great stuff all the way around from them, even though Sasuke gets hurt. There's Otani Ukasa, too. Just great. As an 81 for the Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio Jr. matchup. The idea was to have it be an opener. But then it was just like, well, it'd be better as a Steal the Show matchup because I kind of wanted to harken back to SummerSlam 2002 when they had that incredible opener. But, this will work, though, as far as the Steal the Show matchup. But Rey Jr. gets the win over Kurt Angle. Yeah, performed him, too, by 1 point. Dean Malenko, Wild Pegasus, losing here to the Golden Cosmic Kings, though, as what a win for Astro and Golden King, as Astro pinning Dean Malenko with the Astro Scissors, which, it does not matter in the end. It's kind of crazy that the Golden Cosmic Kings were looking good this night. They had beaten, the tag team of Wild Pegasus and Dean Malenko. They'd beaten they beat Chavo earlier, and as far as 99, too, the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchups, as far as Psicosis and Vampiro, losing to Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Koji Kanemoto as Kikuchi pins Vampiro with the sit-out powerbomb. Very, very fun to do this after we accidentally booked Vampiro to beat Kikuchi on one of the on one of the Best Super Junior Tour shows. But so Tsuyoshi Kikuchi getting the win here, 22 minutes. If I knew that the main event was going to go like 5 minutes, I would have ran this in Fire Pro. But we do it here. They retain their belts. And I felt like we needed this too. The tag team titles have changed hands so many times. I felt like this is what we needed. As our main event, though, in the Best Super Junior Finals, Eddie wins it for the second time in his career. Damn near exhausted by the end. In an exhausted Eddie Guerrero. But right when the fucking referee holds up his arms and the bells ring and out comes Nuki Sano and Nishudo and company, and they put on a beatdown of epic proportions, and we have a new Junior Heavyweight Champion in Nuki Sano, winning with the Scoop Brainbuster in 4 minutes. Now, you see here, they don't click, so we knew that going in. Is it a smart idea to do this when you know Eddie is not going to have a good matchup? Maybe, but also, I left it up to Fire Pro. Maybe, if it was going to be Dragon winning, and either way, Nuki Sano was going to cash in. If Eddie was going to win or if Eddie was going to lose, he was going to get cashed in on this Best Super Junior Finals. And that's one of the quickest turnarounds we've seen. Rarely have we seen that. As far as the past couple of years, usually it's a lot longer than this. But only, basically you win it in March and you cash it in April. And boy, oh boy, we probably should have just had it be a post-show thing instead of it being the actual main event. That probably would have been smart. This rating would have been way, way better. But, listen, it is what it is. We didn't want to cheat. And, as far as do it that way. But definitely want to put over Eddie and Dragon. Which is so funny that Ultimate Dragon got absolutely squashed in the Fire Pro match. And, man, I'm trying to think who else to put over, because there was some great stuff. You know, man, Wild Pegasus and Dean Malenko, they were great in that tag match. Man, that was one of the best matches in Supermax 64, that tag match. So that was incredible stuff. And we have a new Junior Heavyweight champion, and Naoki Sano. But Eddie has a chance to get that belt back. And we will be seeing that matchup in our next episode. As I don't know if that's going to be the main event because of them having awkward chemistry. So we might be a little creative there and have that be the co-main. But as far as let's go on back to the Fire Pro, because this is a Super Explosion tour, which doesn't really have a gimmick or anything. As far as just an idea, I'm not really sure, to be honest, what we want to do with this Super Explosion show. Because last year, I'm trying to remember what was the main event. It was Psychosis and Kanemoto, because that was obviously Psychosis won Best Super Junior. So now we have something a little different than that. As far as having a completely different kind of mindset. We might even do it on night one just to be exciting about it, just to have a really explosive tour, have a main event night one, and go from there. So that's just an idea. But my God, we made $20 million this month. So even though we had a terrible show from the perspective of that rating, we still should be pretty good size-wise. Yeah, we're still, in the 90s, so we'll be fine. Oh, wow. We've dropped down a little bit as of late. Yeah, that rating definitely didn't help us by any means, but it looks like we're kind of getting it back. That's kind of weird how that's working out, but that will do it, though, for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Again, sorry for the unfortunate timing as far as it being pushed back a week and an extra day, too, because this is now going to be uploaded on Monday, or not, it's going to be now an extra 2 days, rather. Jeez, now it's going to be uploaded on Tuesday. Very, very unfortunate. Trying to get everything sorted. A lot of moving parts right now. With just a lot going on. This, with both this and the New Japan Series having, the New Japan's, G1 plus this Best Super Juniors, there was a lot going on. Like we said, on the community notes of the YouTube channel, I completely lost my voice last weekend. I was like, all right, we're not gonna. There's no way I was gonna be able to record it with the lost voice. It was just gonna be a terrible idea. Might as well push it back. Which it is what it is. As far as you hate to do that, but sometimes it's necessary. But we got it done. We made it, and now we're gonna be on to the Super Explosion Tour with a new Junior Heavyweight Champion in Naoki Sano. Take care, everyone.